Shirley está en terapia, pero aún le queda un largo camino por recorrer. Ella y su esposo, Boss, son aficionados al baile de salón, lo cual es de gran ayuda.
It's a good thing we're dancers because we have to be very, very graceful. We can have an avalanche, I call it. I could just like touch this stack and the whole thing come careening down.
Shirley confiesa que su problema comenzó hace más de 30 años cuando fue víctima de un robo.
I started hoarding after our house was robbed. 3 years later, my father was killed in a robbery attempt, and I started feeling more and more fearful. And somehow, I guess I got this convoluted idea that if I had more stuff, I'd be protected. Somehow, the clutter makes me feel safe, like a neighbor said it in a joke. Well, if the robbers came to your house, they'd come in and they'd see such a mess that they'd say, the house has already been ransacked, and they'd go home. And the reality is, our house hasn't been robbed since then.
Los acumuladores son difíciles de tratar. Visitar sus casas y convencerlos de que desechen cualquier cosa es la mejor manera de hacerlos cambiar. El Dr. Randy Frost, uno de los mayores expertos en el campo, ha ido a casa de Shirley un par de veces.
Shirley, this is your living room, right?
Right, this is the living room.
Now, the last time I was here, I remember it being pretty cluttered like this, but maybe there's some things that have changed. That chair over there is now cleared out, is that right?
Right, I actually sat in this last week.
Oh, okay. Is there an organizational scheme here to all of this?
No, it was just space, and
Okay.
I put it there.
All right.
It's a treasure hunt, that's what it is.
Okay. That was my next question. How do you find things in here that you need?
I don't.
How do other people manage their possessions?
They don't have so much stuff.
In part, yeah. Yeah, that's certainly true.
Hoy el Dr. Frost va a tratar de ayudar a Shirley y desechar algo, aunque sabe que ella se va a resistir.
How about over here? Why are you saving that?
Because it's so beautiful.
Okay, so
I just thought it was
it doesn't
lovely.
have any value in terms of your need, no instrumental value, we call it, for you. You don't need that for anything, right? And
No, but I'm not willing to throw it away.
we had lots of people in our studies who describe their homes as cocoons or bunkers and so forth. So really this sense of being vulnerable seems to be involved somehow. These possessions come to signal safety. Even though a newspaper really isn't going to offer any protection, it sort of feels like I'm vulnerable again, or I'm being violated if I lose it or get rid of it. You could see with Shirley the wall that we hit with that picture. Okay, Shirley, here's the challenge. Can you throw this away?
I'll consider it for the future, but for right now, I really am not willing to throw that away.
Shirley lleva un año en terapia. Aunque su progreso parece limitado, pocos acumuladores llegan al punto en el que se encuentra ella. La próxima fase del tratamiento, sin embargo, será más difícil.
The next step is to throw things away despite feeling bad and get over that feeling. What she'll have to face is pushing herself through some of the distress that she's going to experience when she throws something away.
I basically feel like my house is a reclamation project in process, and a coming attraction will be next year we're going to do the living room, and that way I'll be able to sit on my sofa and watch TV in the living room like real normal people, and I'm looking forward to it.
No todos pueden dejar sus obsesiones en casa. Liz Agar es una exitosa deportista de 26 años que tiene una obsesión de la cual se avergüenza mucho.
It's passing for normal because people think you're normal and you're not. I just know that I don't want people to know or even have a hint of what they can see at the top of my head. It's an absolute ritual. I'll sit and I'll wade my hands through my hair until I find a wiry hair or a hair that feels alien to my head. I'll pull it out And then I'll take it and I'll look at it. And if it's got a root that's worth eating, I'll take and I'll bite the root, and I only bite the root, and I'll swallow it, and I discard the hair. And it's almost like I've injected something into my body, and it just calms and soothes. It's almost like I'm taking a needle and injecting something that just takes it all away. But the thing is, it doesn't take it all away, because you're just stressing yourself out more by destroying yourself, and being a woman and having the main core of your beauty being your hair. I think that in itself is its own destruction. And like sometimes I think I'm like a manged animal, and then sometimes I think I'm fine. I know I'm normal as a person, but deep at the back of my mind, looks-wise, I almost feel almost retarded. And I think that comes through the feeling that I've got from other people.
Liz tiene tricotilomanía, el impulso irresistible de arrancarse el cabello. Al igual que las millones de personas que padecen de esta obsesión, Liz es bastante normal en los demás aspectos de su vida. Comenzó a los 12 años y su área calva le causa gran vergüenza.
I always normally wear my hair up, and people don't notice. It's amazing how many people don't notice. But obviously, as you get intimate with someone, they do notice. And I haven't got to that stage yet, and I don't know how I'm going to tackle it, and it's going to be very hard. It also depends on the person, because sometimes someone brings it up, and sometimes you bring it up. But I suppose after a few drinks, you can always let it out. But it is hard, and you never know how people are going to react, and especially when you've just met someone.
Liz no sabe por qué comenzó a arrancarse el cabello, pero varios estudios en Salt Lake City podrían darnos una pista. En la Universidad de Utah se ha hecho un gran descubrimiento en ratones. Este ejemplar es perfectamente normal, con la excepción de un detalle.
What these mice do is overgroom themselves, and they initially start by just removing all the hair. For example, on this particular mouse, you can see that on the side, its hair has been removed. And what it'll do is continue to remove that hair until all its body hair that he can reach will actually be removed.
Estos ratones han sido modificados genéticamente. Los científicos han alterado un gen y este es el resultado. Tras descubrir que un solo gen defectuoso puede inducir tal comportamiento en un ratón, se espera confirmar si el mismo gen defectuoso también existe en los humanos.
Then we're struck gold. We can treat the disease with different drugs to see which ones are effective and which are not effective, and then explore it in much greater detail. And then if it has an effect, then one can actually then go into the human patient population and see whether this would also work in human patients.
Entender la influencia de los defectos genéticos en el arrancamiento compulsivo del cabello sería importante no solo para los tricotilomaníacos, pues los genes también podrían desempeñar un papel en otras obsesiones más comunes. Stephanie Lodenslager sufre otro tipo de trastorno obsesivo-compulsivo. Sus obsesiones se centran en su hijo Jake.